So I was under the assumption that this, I don't know where to show. I don't know where a camera is. It's not like we have regular cameras like on TV where it's like, woot, woot. I was under the assumption, I don't know why I thought that this was at C-Space. Why? So, okay. So, but Christine Clausen, I know her very well. I've been in her gallery and
It's a
had
sweet
shows.
space.
It's a very sweet space. She's a very sweet woman.
We're going to be taking our photos on day one of the show with the pugs.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And if things don't work out, you can ride a motorbike from the place next door out the door and buy a $10,000, $20,000 hog or whatever.
Or get a tattoo.
Or get a tattoo. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know why I thought that, but it's a Christine Clausen gallery. So that's even more awesome.
It was pretty
That's
sweet.
fantastic. So what's the deal with C-Space then? Tell me that story.
I don't know if I want to go down that road. No, I love C-Space. They have been so good to me over the years. Every time I've had an event there, they've extended it. They've got all the licenses for me. They've got all the people for me, and they've helped hang it. It's been nothing but a great experience. But this was just too sweet and offered it.
Oh, you can't beat this.
No.
Great location, great people, great thing. So that's fantastic. So, right. All right. So, I have so many questions for you. Let's just talk about the show for a sec. I'm gonna introduce the people in the show and what's going on, and then we're gonna backtrack to how the show, where this became from. But just talk about the show to begin. Just introduce yourself and the show a little bit.
So I am one part of three parts of We Three. So I'm Louise Lacey-Rokosh, and the other two people in my group are Laurie Aldridge and John Webster. And we took a studio space together. We've been painting together for almost 10 years.
Oh, it's been that long?
Yes, it has. We've been with you for almost 10 years, Doug. I know. So we all met through the lovely Ingrid Christensen, because all three of us were madly searching to find a way to change the way we painted. All three of us were drawn to her sense of color, her sense of space, her use of light. And so we all ended up there to find our own path forward. And she was great because she doesn't tell you what to do, but she would give you sort of inspiration. And then she left us.
I know, but you stepped up, and that's where you stepped up and said, I thought, well, that's the end of that. She's leaving. She went on her own journey to seek whatever. I talk to her all the time. We speak, we email, we talk, and she's, I think, the most wonderful person and the most delicate. I chase her all the time. I post things and go, oh, look at this painting. I have my inner Ingrid Christensen happening, right? All the time. And then she left. And I thought, well, there goes all these wonderful people that are in this group. It'll fall apart. And you stepped up and manned the ship right away.
Well, I was just bossy. Let's be honest. It's just like, okay, you're staying. Yeah, you're going. You're staying.
Who left? No, I'm kidding. No, you don't got to name names. I'm just kidding.
We're not going to say, but the one who said, you'd be great if you learned how to paint. Her, she's gone.
All right.
You remember.
We're not naming names. I know this isn't the Steve Wilco show. It's all good. All right.
So it was no, I shouldn't say that. It was really great. Everyone wanted to stay together. Oh, sorry. I speak right in. Everyone wanted to stay together. And so I just sort of took over basically paying the bill. And then everyone just pays me. And then I just give out bossy notes for each week with a little joke at the bottom, with a little caption that says, you don't actually have to do this month if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want if you want, but everyone does it. So
right. So let's go back. And what do you call yourselves?
We're called the Monday Group.
The Monday, because it's always been for 10 years. It's like, is that Monday Group there? The Monday Group.
Yeah. And everyone keeps saying, could you come up with something more creative, like the whatever? I don't know. No. It's just stock.
Group of Seven had 9 people in it at some point. So whatever. Group of Seven. And then there was the Regina 5 and the blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's the Monday Group. It's the,
we want to move to,
Sheryl Crow had the Saturday evening jam music club or whatever. It's a good name. I love it.
We're moving to Thursdays.
No, it'll still be the
Monday Group.
You will be still the Monday Group who paints on Thursdays. That's even better. I love that.
No, we're staying on
What
Monday.
do you think? How many original, do you have new members? Have you had people come and go, but how many original members are in there?
We are almost all original. Like we were 12 and we've lost 2, or we might have lost 3 now in total. I get emails every week for people, not every week, every month for someone saying, can I join your group? Can I join your group?
No, you got to, that's the thing. Yeah. Those things are, you got to keep them the way they are. You can't just open it up. It's got to fit and work and feel
it's got to
right,
be good for everybody.
Everybody, right? Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's awesome. And so you've been running this thing for how long now?
It's a lot of years.
So who decides what we're painting? What is it a theme every week? A theme every month?
Every month. So actually everyone has input. This is not the Louise show. This is a shared input. Everyone says they want something, and then I get bossy and tell everyone what they're going to do. So everyone says, they give me their list saying how they want the year to go, and then I sequence it. So for instance, this past semester, January was Jumpstart January. We did quick painting. February was, what was it? No, that was Model March. Gosh, now I've already forgotten.
Food February. All right. We painted mangoes. Excellent.
April was abstracts. And so we just ended up doing a theme, and it actually pushed everybody a little bit out of their comfort level, because everyone can work in their own studio and do whatever they want. But if you come to the Monday group and we're doing abstracts, none of us are abstract painters, but we all gave it a good shot. And we all ended up taking things and learning from each other. And the greatest thing about the Monday group, all of you, I love you, is the feedback. The feedback is outstanding.
Like, in other words, like self-critiquing.
Absolutely.
So everybody's throwing their voice in and saying yay or nay. And don't you love that?
And then we all walk around going, oh, this is great. Or someone will say, I'm really stuck here. Is it the color? Is it the value? What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. And then someone else will go, well, I really think you should try this. And everyone's open to the idea of you can try anything in there. It's all safe. It's all safe.
All right. Oh, yeah. Voice from the past.
Voice from the past.
Go.
Followed by John, that was the voice over there.
We do have a small peanut gallery off to the side that no one can see.
I'm calling them my fact checkers. They're here to make sure I don't mess up. But John's favorite line is, that's really good. Don't wreck it. And walks away.
Right. Okay, what are we doing? I thought you were gonna throw in, what we could do. Oh, what you could do? Yeah, I know. That's right. You gotta throw in one of those. You know what you could do? Always. It's so much easier to look at someone else's painting and go, you know what you could do?
So much
when you're so deep in it and you can't get yourself out of it enough to judge it yourself. You need someone else. That's the best. I mean, I take my paintings. I got my special people that I take my paintings to, because there's just no way I can't get myself out of there. So having a group like that is awesome. And the other thing is, it seems like every other sort of artistic discipline that we have is so group orientated.
Yeah.
Like if you're an actor, I mean, just yourself as an actor, you've got a voice coach, you've got an acting coach, you've got someone writing a script for you, you've got a director, a producer, you got other actors, influencing you going on. And when you're in music, you got other bandmates that are saying, you know what I would try? That sucked. You know what you should do? And then you've got a producer, an engineer. You've got a record company going, no, we're going this way with this record. Did you not realize that? Because we're paying you. So there's always someone. Art is so alone.
Yeah.
There's no one. You're down there making all the decisions for yourself. And you make so many decisions for yourself that as soon as someone says something, it feels weird. It's like, well, I'm not used to someone. I have people tell me all the time, you're lucky to have the environment that you have, to have people to bounce ideas off of all the time. It's fantastic.
And honestly, like Monday group's been at least 7 years that we've been together. And
see, that speaks volumes that you stay together because that environment is working.
So it's actually kind of crazy, because before John moved in from Canmore, he would drive in for the Monday group.
Who moves in from Canmore?
Drove in from Canmore. And then we've got another person who drives in from High River. We've got all over the whole city. We've got three people that have moved out of town. And all three of them have said they want to maintain paying their share. And they're like Salt Spring Island, Fernie, and Whitehorse. And they're still going to come in for Mondays when they can.
Wow, that's fantastic. Who goes to Whitehorse?
Oh my God, our favorite, what is she, midwife. Our favorite midwife who paints on the side. She sort of rolls in.
Who moves from Canmore and who moves to Whitehorse?
I tell you, we got our people.
What do you guys smoking in the room there?
Well, and Salt Spring Island, it's a special room.
Yeah, that's a special room. Yeah.
It's our room.
Have you checked the ventilation in that room? I'm just saying. Anyways.
It's the fumes in there.
All right. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. So is this the first time the three of you have shown together? Or let's go back. What about shows single? Everybody? Have you had a show before?
Oh yeah, lots. And everybody's had lots.
Okay.
So the three of us got together just because we painted together for so long. And we kept saying, we need a studio. We need our own space that we can just work together and be able to leave our stuff there all the time. And we've always been very close since the very beginning, since the very first time John showed up. And I mean, Laurie and I had been together with Ingrid for, I think, 2 years at least before John showed up. Of course, John showed up. And then there's always one. But he immediately bonded with Laurie and I, and we've always been really close, the three of us, for 7 years. And these two kept going around looking for places to rent, and I kept saying, "I'm not going downtown. I'm not going to there. I'm not going there." Have you guys looked at the 500 Collective? No, they hadn't. Have you guys looked? So then they go over to the 500 Collective and they come back going, "You should see the space we found at this place called 500 Collective. It's amazing." So they went there thinking I didn't know about it, I think. And so they dragged me in. Carl, God love him. Carl White. Hi, Carl, wherever you are. He took down walls for us, made us a big studio.
Isn't he awesome?
Yeah, I've known Carl for years.
I've known Carl's. I think I knew Carl before he knew how to skateboard.
Did he ever not know how to skateboard?
I think he was born. He was born with a skateboard. That's right.
I think he was born with a skateboard. Right. But he was great. Like, he sort of gave us this incredible space and I did, one of my requirements is a window. I got to have a window. And he gave us a space with not one, but 2 high windows. We get this incredible light in our space. We couldn't be happier. All day long. All day long. All day long.
All right.
And I can ride my bike there. It's close enough. So it met all of my requirements. I don't know about that, but it met all of mine.
So what about the rest of the group? Are they like, how do you navigate that?
Easy.
You've got
Monday stays Monday, and it's no problem. So we've got people that work out of town and then they come in, and we've got people that work in their home studios. We've got Nancy, who shows in Okotoks, but she loves coming to Monday because once again, it's pushing you out of your bubble. Every single person is pushed out of their bubble. And for a lot of that group as well, when we go plein air painting, no one wants to paint plein air on their own. It's not that much fun. It's way more fun to go with a group.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
Actually, it's true.
You get to pick what you want, paint as long as you want.
Yeah, it's okay. I do it all the time,
and if
too.
you buy a 6-pack of beer, there's 6 beer left. So I don't know. Just saying.
I'm not gonna. It's not like it's okay. A lot of people are less comfortable going on their own.
No, definitely. It's always better to have someone with you. And it's. I'm gonna just hang on. This is sounding really weird.
No, that's you.
It's just me. Oh, that's better. Well, maybe I need my radio voice back on. Okay. Hey, yeah. It's just no. It just got really echoey for a minute. That's okay. It's good. Okay. So now I gotta yeah. So it's one thing to paint by yourself and plein air paint, but in a group and having that cohesiveness of a group and having the click of a group that everybody's on the same page. It's the same thing. Having people to paint outdoors with. It can get very difficult because people don't like this, people don't like that, people paint too fast, people paint too slow. I don't like this scene, and it's very hard to coordinate everything and stop and just paint. Like,
no, I disagree. I'm going to just disagree. So we often say, how about we put out an email saying, here are the options. And we pick the place that most people want to go to. And then my theory is always don't walk too far because you're probably going to walk 10 feet away from your car and do whatever was there in the first place. There's always something to see and something to paint. You don't have to go searching for it. And you can create great things out of things that aren't so great in front of you. So
absolutely. But having people that don't think that way, they're like, I don't like that. Keep driving. What about, you could drive forever with people like that. And then you've got people that, I'm done. I paint very fast. I'm done. And they're like, I'm not even set up yet. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be painful. And I've got other people that I'm like, I'm deep in painting and they're yakking too much. Like, no, you gotta get the.
I think we've actually found a comfortable ground for all of us. And
right?
Most of us will sit there and go, okay, because I'm actually pretty quick nail planner too. Like I used to be super slow. I used to do the full no 10, do the full this, full that. Okay, no, another no done. Okay, this is now perfect. Oh, now the sun's moved. Shit.
So true.
But I can now do 2 paintings instead of 1, or I can scrape it all off and start over. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So we are pretty cohesive or pretty happy. We made the mistake once, and I think I went through 3/4 of a tank of gas because everyone said, oh, let's go to the Elbow River. Oh, let's go over to that golf course. I think if we go all the way to Bragg Creek, it'll be better. We ended up back at the Elbow River. And I think that was when we came up with, let's send an email and meet. So there's no driving.
Yeah, you just pick a place and that's going to be it. Like it or lump it today. Yep. Tomorrow you might get your spot, or next time you'll get your spot. But today, this is where we're going. Yeah.
Remember, I'm the keeper of the emails.
Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, that's right. You're the head honcho. All right.
And John is he came plein air painting once.
Whoa. Oh, do tell. Do tell, listener. Once. I'm looking at him. He's all turning red now. Once.
It's the only time I've seen John look like he might implode. He's the guy with the answers, the solutions. He's got the great eye to say, you're doing this wrong. You might want to try this. Have you ever thought about using acrylics? It really looks like it would work for you. He's got all these great ideas, this great vision. He comes up with stuff. We took him plein air.
All right. That's throwing a guy into the deep end for sure.
It flew off, landed.
How do I incorporate the dirt and the grasses? Oh, these grasses look so natural.
So he's packing up his box. He goes, well, I can say I used my $300 plein air kit, so it didn't go to waste. And he just disappeared off into the sunset. But plein air is a whole different animal.
It's a whole different ball of wax. Absolutely. Yeah. It is. It's so way harder than people think.
Oh, yeah.
It's so way harder than people think. It took me forever to figure out that. I don't even know how would I even explain this, that I just need to paint something and enjoy. It's like, until someone said to me, it's like fishing. I'm like, how many fish did you catch? Well, you don't really catch them. You release them. I'm like, why would you go fishing if you have to let the fish go? Like, don't you bring it home and eat it? Like, isn't that the point, to have the little rod with 17 fish on it? And I'm like, that's like plein air painting. Don't you come home and I painted this? And it was like, no, it's going out and fishing. It has nothing to do with what you catch or anything. It has to do with the whole experience of the day. And once I realized it was good just to get outside, set up my easel, and just be at one with nature, and I'm farting around with paint, and I'm trying to represent something that's out there. Once I got there, the painting started to flow. Yeah. It was way, way easier to do. Yeah.
Except, and I'm sure you've had to do it. Okay. I did the Hockaday plein air paint out last year. 120 degrees, and they're expecting paintings delivered every day.
Well, I've done plein air events. I've done the Hockaday. I've done Door County, and they expect work to be done. That's a lot of pressure too.
And sold.
And well, they want to sell it. Yeah. Because that's how they're making their money to keep the museum alive. Yeah. That's a lot of pressure. I've done a few of those. I won't do them anymore. I'll go and paint, but I won't do that because I don't like that kind of. It's like commissions too. I don't. It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure anymore. Yeah. I get people that can step up and do that. There was a day that I could. No more.
Yeah. I just went, and it was like 120 degrees every day, and I thought, and I went with Teresa Williams. We entered and we got in separately, but thank goodness for Lawrence. I love Lawrence. Lawrence is like, everybody needs a Lawrence. Lawrence would bring me water and more water and ice, and he'd go get me a Slurpee, and he'd go he goes, you're dying, girl. And so he would look after me.
I need a potato water.
Yeah, potato water. He'd be on it. Lawrence would be on it. And he even built me my easel. Like, he built me.
That's awesome.
He's wonderful. Everybody needs a Lawrence. So at any rate, I couldn't have done it without him because I was dying out there.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just talk a little bit more about the Monday group and running it. So who picks the theme every month?
Excuse me. It is put through, everyone suggests what they want at the beginning of each semester, and then I sequence it. So everybody puts in what they want to cover.
And every Monday, how long are we painting for?
We paint every Monday from 1 till 4, except for Nicole. She comes in at like 3:15, 3:30, and she sort of sets up, answers a few phone calls.
Good. I know those people. Talks on the phone, then gets in the groove and goes, oh, it's 4 o'clock. I got to go. Yeah.
And she goes, no one's coming in here for a while, are they? Like, I can still stay. Yeah, Nicole, you can stay till probably 5:30 if you really want. And she gets into her little zone in her little corner. But no, it's a pretty equal opportunity group. No, there's no boss.
There's no boss.
Just a money collector.
And so a theme. And what do you do with the theme? How big, how small?
That's entirely up to you. Like if you think you can pull off 5 20-minute paintings on a 36 by 36, have at her. But that wouldn't be what I would tell you. And we also, for things like that, I'd be in that.
I would do that. I would so do that.
I bet you would. Okay, that might be, next year's theme. We're going to do super fast, big paintings.
Oh, I love it. Okay. That's my favorite.
Bigger brush.
Big, bold, and fast. That's my favorite.
Brushes. Yeah. I think I can feel this happening. Big, bold brushes. It's going to pick a month. But it's just so great because it pushes everyone out of their comfort level. We've done ones where we've shared photographs. I asked everyone to print off 5 of the same photographs so that we can just share them, and everyone brings several photographs. Or actually, we're do the same thing, quick painting from life. Forget the photograph. Now everyone's bringing stuff, and we just put it all in the middle, and everyone helps themselves. Or if we're doing a still life, we'll set up a huge still life in the middle of the classroom, and everyone will set up all the way around it, and then it's great because then everyone's got a different perspective on the same stuff. And so we're walking around talking about, I like actually the way you set that up, or how your canvas is divided is great. I like your composition. I wish I'd done that sort of thing. And then they come sit beside you and do the same thing. And it's really fun to compare colors and techniques and mark making and composition and all the things that you are supposed to.
You used to do still lives all the time and set up still lives.
Yes.
Right? And everyone had, either you did all the same still, you're still doing that, or?
Oh, no, only very rarely. Actually, we do all sorts of other things. Actually, for a model march, we actually didn't end up getting a model. We ended up painting each other. Not that I was there, I was painting palm trees, but let's not go there. But they painted each other. So they would take turns, and they took turns modeling, and they take turns doing facials, like of you and me, doing self-portraits. A self-portrait should be done every year. You should do a self-portrait every year.
Yeah, I'll pass. Thanks. Yeah, I don't. There's not enough canvas ugly enough to paint me anymore. Forget it.
Boo. Yeah, that's a big boo.
I don't. It's funny. I probably have 10 paintings in this down here somewhere of me that people have painted of me. For some reason, I'm outside painting and they decide to paint me painting. I've got either crazy. They're all good, but it's like, I don't know. I know my dear mentor, Jean Geddes, made me, when I took a class from her, tape a mirror to my easel and do my self-portrait.
Yeah.
At some point, it's still the most hideous painting I've ever done, but the painting was good. It's just the subject was... Anyways.
Well, I've got one in my kitchen that my husband framed. It's a self-portrait of me, and I do think it's got to go. And it's me in a mask, for God's sake, from
But does
COVID.
he like it?
He loves it.
Well, there you go.
It's got my gray hair coming out. It's got this yellow mask. I'm like, Norm, that's a part of our lives we need to forget.
I know. People love it. Okay, so let's talk about the show a little bit.
This show is going to be fantastic.
So, beep, beep. So let me ask you, Lost and Found. What are we talking here?
Oh, it's so many layers of Lost and Found. Primarily, if you're going to think of it in artistic terms, it is the whole act of losing edges and then refinding them. And that's something that the three of us definitely all do in our own way, in our own very different way. And it was all through our time together with Ingrid, with her wonderful sense of atmosphere and losing edges and her very soft edges, which is what we were all after. So very much so, this is Lost and Found. And I'd also like to say it's a little bit about each of us being a little bit lost in our own personal direction. until we sort of found our way forward. So there's a bit of.
Do you ever find yourself though?
It's always moving forward.
Hopefully you're always moving forward, but do you ever find yourself? I think if you're not a little bit lost, you get kind of cocky and get a little bit, I don't know, maybe arrogant or like, or
formulaic.
Or formulaic is a good word.
Yeah.
But I think being lost is whatever Tolkien said, not all who wander are lost.
No, true.
It's just like being lost is part of it. You need to be exploring all the time. So like you put on here, exploring edges, spaces, and faces.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So a little bit of, and did you have a theme? Is there a theme behind this? Or did you just say, we're having a show, put what you want in?
Yes, it's independent. Each of us are independent people that work together, that we are so supportive of each other. And that's where the magic happens. The magic happens in the fact that we can share. It's not a huge studio, but we can be there all day, every day. And we each know that the other person's work is part of their soul and we're supporting it.
Right. Right. Don't you find when the collective comes together that the energy level raises?
It does. It does. I think we're really, really fortunate to have each other. And I do find that every now and then I go, oh, you're starting to paint like me and I'm starting to paint a bit like you, because we're influencing each other. You can't help but influence each other.
Of course you should.
We're in the space together, and that's why we picked the space together, because these are two people I'd like to be influenced by.
Oh, sure. But you're throwing that all into a bag. And you're shaking the bag, and the magic ingredient that's in that bag is you. So you got a bit of this person, something I learned from there, something I saw in a video. Yeah. You put it all in a bag, and then you throw that magic ingredient of you that has decided all of this and throws yourself in, and you become you. Nothing wrong with a little bit of everybody in there.
No, I agree.
Right?
Like I said, these are people that I really love to be with every day. So it's pretty easy. It's very easy.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so
By the way, we'll never move the Monday group because we love Swinton.
Oh, you didn't have to say that, but thank you. I don't know. There definitely is an energy in that building. There always has been.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about me, but I've had many people come to me. I'll tell you, I'm just a sidebar, but I will tell you a little story that did make me feel very, very good one day. I had what I would call a young adult come to me and say, oh, hey, I'm just stopping in to say hi. I did not recognize this person, but she said to me, I just came by. I haven't been here for years, but I used to take classes here forever. And I didn't recognize her because she was probably painted on a Saturday with Sue or with Holly or with one of the teachers that was there. But I said, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't recognize her. And we had a little talk. And she said, I just wanted to thank you personally so much, because I went to school and I was bullied a little bit at school, and I was a little bit of an outcast, and I didn't fit in. She said, I didn't know where to belong, and we didn't have a lot of art in school, and this was my haven every Saturday. I came to this place because the energy in this place and what I got out of it was so wonderful, and it made me who I am today. And I just came back to say thank you for that. And she goes, I'm getting married next week, but it's all because the confidence for me came out of this building. And I was like, whoa.
That's amazing.
I was like, I kind of was like, oh, I freaked out. And that was amazing. But I've had lots of people say, this is my home. This is my second home. And it is. So, and you guys have helped make that every Monday you're there. I know religiously you guys show up on Mondays. Yeah. Like I come in on a Monday. I haven't worked a Monday in 35 years. I think that was a thing. I got a job, and I had Mondays off, and it was like, oh, I love this. Anyways, I've always had Monday off. I walk in, I'm like, oh, there you guys are. And I walk in, and you're still in the studio, still painting and still yelling at each other, going, yeah, do this, do that. And it's amazing. I love that. I love that. So
Lost and Found.
Yeah.
Back to Lost and Found.
Yeah.
So it's sort of almost a backwards thing in the sense that John actually arranged for this show before we actually got our space. So he had arranged with Christine for us to do a show, and then we got our space at the 500 Collective, which everybody should go check out. It is filled with some incredible artists.
So explain to people what that is.
Okay.
Right? Because these people probably don't know.
So if you've ever dreamed of what having a loft space in New York would be, with your own little space to be able to work in it, with cool barn doors and wonderful twinkle night lights so that you could walk down the hallways, and you've got some of the best painters that you know all working around you, that is the 500 Collective. It is just a wonderful group of, I think they're building some new spaces. So I think there's going to be 25 of us in total. We've got everything from handmade paper bookbinders to tattoo artists to acrylic painters. We've got one artist who's right now down in Maine, who's got a massive show going on down in Maine. We've got people from
tell
everywhere.
them about where it is in the building.
So the Christine Klassen's gallery is the faces onto 50th Avenue, and this is a warehouse space that they've divided.
It's kind of in a. Well, it's an industrial district, but it's not industrial.
Not at all.
It's just
down off 50th Avenue Southeast.
2-story, 3-story, low-level buildings
all
that are all around everywhere.
Yeah, and great markets like the Una Market is just down the street from us.
Latino Market. You can get
everything.
You can get Mexican oregano there. It's so good.
You can get everything there. It's so good. It's one of the up and coming areas. We've got breweries that are opening up around us. It's a wonderful space to be in. Totally light. We've got window spaces.
The building is very tall. It's a 2-story, white, almost 3-story, and like you say, ironclad stuff with barn doors that slide.
And we've got these big meat hook thieves that can go up and down the hallways.
It feels very New Yorky.
Yeah,
it really does.
It feels like if you could have a New York art loft in Calgary, this is it.
Yes.
It is just so great. Yeah, we've got huge garage doors. So we've got flow through and mice that can just come right.
And I love that the way she tends to present paintings is very gallery-esque.
Yes.
Less stacked everywhere and more, these paintings are very important.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you have room to breathe and you have room to see them. I know it's kind of old school, but I sort of dig that. I dig the feeling of when I go in there, things feel important.
Yes.
They feel like they matter.
Yeah. And she did stress that to us as well. She even said, don't feel you got to have too much stuff. You might want to just highlight something that really.
So how many paintings do you have each in there? Did you discuss that?
I'm at 57. How about you guys?
They're all like, what? Oh, you told me I was only allowed to have 12. Oh,
I did tell them they were only allowed to have 12.
So I have that wall. He's in that corner. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we're going to put a little spotlight over there for him. He won't
Cat's
mind.
out of the bag. You're in trouble.
Yeah. Laurie's seen me in action. Yeah. Yes. I should clarify that this is a pop-up event with Christine's gallery. We are not her artists. So she's.
But this is what I like about her is that she's allowed me to do that as well.
Yeah.
And allowed my groups to do that as well.
Yeah.
That she will rent her space out.
Yeah.
That she is not, I don't know what you'd say, like glued to the people that are in the gallery and the people in the gallery. She says, look, I'm going to allow space for this. And if she's willing to work with you, if you're willing to work with her in the space she's got, she's very open to that.
She's wonderful. Like, it's been a really, really very positive experience. Like, John started down this road for us. Thank you, John. Finding us a venue to do a pop-up show. And then we got the space behind it. And I can't be happier with both. It's been unbelievably great. So I'm hoping everyone comes. So this is my plug at the moment. It's, you could read it out.
I can right here, Thursday night, you're going to do on August 22nd.
Yes.
So
everybody come.
And everybody, and it's not just to come see the artist, you got to come see the space too.
Yes.
Because the space is where you really should come and see it and really get a feel for what it really feels like. We're losing galleries in the city.
Yeah.
Like that honestly have honest space like that.
Yeah.
We're losing them, right? So I'll just tell you right now that like Thursday, August 22nd from 5 to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Right. And then are you Saturday, Sunday, or are you just?
It's going to be till Saturday and Sunday, I believe, as well. But Saturday, we're actually going to do an artist talk, the three of us, starting at 2 o'clock, and however long it goes, it goes.
How are you feeling, Laurie, about the artist talk? right.
Like I said, I'll be
She
having the
wouldn't. She wouldn't
microphone.
talk on here. I asked her. I told her she should do this. She was like, "No, Louise is doing this right now. No, Louise is in." And then John should have done this, and then I realized once John showed up, I was like, "Oh God, no! He'd talk the whole time. It'd never be. I wouldn't get a word in, and that's unusual for a guy like me who talks too much."
Excuse me,
I'm just bugging you.
Have you met me?
Go.
It actually opens like, sorry.
Oh yeah, so 20th to the 25th, but the Thursday night is the reception.
We want everybody there.
Saturday is the talk.
We want everyone there on Thursday.
Thursday night, you got to be there on Thursday night.
Thursday.
All right, talk to that
Thursday.
right there. Thursday night.
Thursday. So
put it on 3D.
I'd like to mention again.
3D.
I'm counting on seeing everyone there Thursday. I've got a new party dress. I really need to show it to everybody.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, so we'll just put a little thing there. I'm going to ask you a few personal questions just to see if we can throw a bit of this out here.
Yeah.
Tell me about your thought process when you're painting. You got a blank canvas in front of you. What are you doing?
Am I plein air or am I in the studio?
No, let's just, what do you decide to paint? Do you decide on something to paint before you've painted, or do you have a blank canvas and then I need to pick something to paint? Or do you have things burning in your mind going, I want to paint that, I want to paint that?
That's so different. So every time I do something, I've got so many different ways I paint. So if I'm doing my still lifes, it can take a week for me to set up my still life. I know that sounds insane, but I will literally take pieces and build this like sculpture almost out of fabrics and boxes and fruit and bowls and plates. I love circles and I love pattern. If you look at any of my still lifes, they're filled with circular plates and bowls because I love circles and I love pattern. But I start moving things around so that I get the shadow patterns, start making patterns in the patterns. And then I try to shift things so that you can no longer see the horizon line. So you don't know where the corners are. And then I start painting. And then I lay it all out. I'll lay it all out maybe in acrylic first so I can see how it's all working. Then I start adding and subtracting things. It takes several weeks for me to actually do a still life because I'll go, I really hate that vase. It's out of here. But what am I going to put in there instead? So then I go, oh, that fabric's now not working. I'll change the fabric. So I constantly play. For me, it is all about playing with the different textures and values and colors. And how
do you know when a painting's done then?
Oh, because I'm happy.
You see the guy in the back going, she doesn't. She's never happy.
Oh, he's taken them out of my hands because I'm about to scrape them off completely. He goes, no, leave that alone for a week. I will scrape off everything before the noise he knows. He goes, oh, the scrape. Oh my God, Louise is He knows that sound really well. So for me, it's never that my still lifes are not spontaneous at all. They are like labors of love that I go over and over and over. And it all started with that crazy thing with Ingrid, with the fabric and people. And I realized I don't like a traditional still life. This is the way I want to roll.
Nice. And
I kept going forward and forward with it and moving it forward and forward. And what looks like random placement of things is not random at all. It's layered up.
Who's your favorite in the group?
Ingrid.
Oh, fancy answer. All right. Okay, hang on.
Because she's part of the group.
You put the headphones on for 2 minutes. I just want to ask you a couple questions. All right. Then it's like just keep talking, and all of a sudden there's a different person on the other end of the camera. It's like, all right, Laurie Aldridge.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. What's your favorite thing to paint?
People,
but
yeah, absolutely.
But you've got a flowers and vases and a bottle of vodka and 2 books.
Oopsie, sorry.
You can move that up.
Okay, I find painting people the most interesting because a face is never static, and that includes color in the face. And it's always been, to me, really fascinating to try and pick out the colors that aren't typically skin tone. or what you would think is typical skin tone. So I look for the green and the blue and the purple in a face. And yeah.
Do you work from photos? Have you painted from life?
Oh yeah. That's my favorite.
Painting from life.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing. Forget outdoor painting. Painting a person from life is the hardest thing. What did John Singer Sargent say? A portrait is just a painting of someone's face with something wrong with the chin. He's always like, something here isn't working, right? Yeah. So how do you pick something out to paint? What's your process? Where do you start? What do you got, a blank canvas in front of you? What are you doing?
Okay. So I usually have an idea of what I want to paint before I go to the canvas. And so I've been trying a new thing, and this is an example there of this new thing. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway.
He'll throw it. Okay. We can see it. He'll throw it up.
I've been trying a new thing where I've been working with line. I avoided it for years and years. Didn't want a line to show up at all unless it was meant to be between two things, to have
Sure.
line that way. But I've been doing blind contour drawings, and they crack me up because you think you've nailed whatever it is you're drawing, but if you're not looking at it, then it's always a surprise when you actually see what you've done.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. And then so I start with an image, and then I do that, and then
you do a blind contour.
Well, yeah. And
then fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
And start farting around with whatever you got on there. Isn't a blind contour so cool that, if you first start doing them, you're horrible at them and they're just all over the map. But eventually you get a really good sense of where your pen is and what you're doing. And you will get more of a caricature, not a caricature, but you'll get more of a real representation of that person than if you actually drew it and watched what you were doing. And so you get that feeling that comes out. And then like in your painting, you get all of that, and yet you've colored it and you get, the most amazing art out of it.
Yeah.
So a blind contour is you're going to take your paper and I'm going to draw her without looking. So I don't look at this. Yeah. So you have to do this. You have to go, oh, here's a head, and then the eyes are here and the eyes are here, and there's headphones go around, and then her chin is there and her nose is there and her face is there and here, and she's got hair and whatever. And then you get this crazy weird thing that doesn't look anything like her whatsoever, but you get this weird blind contour, but it's this, then you can start coloring it and changing it from there. And it's like this funky thing. So anyways, oh my God. Anyway, so what's your favorite painting? Do you got a favorite painting?
No, I guess not. I don't know. Right now, this one.
All right. Love it. Okay. All right. Go.
John, you're up.
All right, JW. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
All right. So I want you to kind of take me through your process of this whole thing of farting around in the beginning and just being a free spirit, and then figuring out what you're doing after.
Well, I think we're talking about plein air, and that's why I kind of realize I'm a studio painter. I really enjoy the farting around, as you say. Like, I'll start with, it actually started with, I wanted to clean out my paint box of all these colors. And I just thought, let's just put down some big red and make a mark and respond. So I got a lot of red. Let's put some blue. Oh, and you just kind of literally that didn't feel right. It needs, and you just let it kind of keep happening. So you're working on an abstract that just kind of comes together, and just kept playing with it. At some point I decide, I joke with these guys, like, I think it's a goat. What do you think? Like, it's nothing, but I'm going to I've traditionally been doing landscape, wildlife pieces for mountain galleries for years. And so I'll put an animal on there, and then I'll just allow some of that big bright orange to influence. Okay, that's kind of neat, the way that's kind of poking through here. Like, so I'm letting that underpainting influence the overpainting. And curiously, I kind of got into Swinton's carries the Amsterdam acrylics.
Yes.
And they're a great quality paint. And I just go through lots of paint. I've actually created a wall of all the colors that I just look over and I kind of go like, this needs
intuition, right? Intuitively, you just, I need that color.
And I don't keep them in a box because I can see them right in front of me, very visually oriented. So if I keep, like I've got all these marks on the canvas, and there's a lime green, it's 357 Amsterdam green, and then I'll make the painting, and then I'll take right out of that tube. I'll put more on top, but you can't quite tell when was that mark made. Was it the beginning or the end?
Sure.
So it's kind of, because I'm not. You could spend years just mixing colors and learning colors, but I love this, just using this pure color. And then you've got Swinton's carries this wonderful line. I actually bought.
This is going to cost me so much money at the end, to pay these guys off.
Well, quite funny. You had a box at your sale last year of the 96 colors that they make, and so I've got a little bit of every single one of them. So if I really kind of like this, they're blue, then I'm going to. But it's literally using that same color, not mixing, but I mean, I do some mixing, but I love the idea that I make a stroke at the beginning, I put something on top of it, I repeat the stroke, and you're never quite sure what layer
what layer it is and where it happened during the process.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun.
And then what goes over top of that?
Yeah. So, I'm pointing at something that you can't. But
he'll show it. Don't worry.
I will have the most fun just playing with color and just texture, lots of different tools and scraping and what have you. Recently, I've had fun with spray paint and just stencils and just kind of misting and just having a riot with all of these colors that are just so much fun. And then you put the figure on top of it, and then you can still kind of do these layers and layers. So you end up. It's as fun to me to watch what happens. I don't really know where this is going until it's gone there. And you talk about, when is a painting done? I say when it's sold. Nice. I will literally sometimes, like, there's pieces at the gallery, and I'm doing an artist residence or something, and I kind of see something and I drag it out, like, kind of change something.
I get them back from the gallery, and I'm like, I look in the gallery and go, oh my God, I got to fix that tree. What was I thinking? And it comes back and I fix it, and it goes to another gallery. Sure. Yeah.
But this, we were talking about this earlier, that with Ingrid, she put us onto this thing where she had us over, I think it was about 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, but she came in with this box of fabrics, and there's polka dots, and there's stripes, and there's paisley, and there's whatever, and she just throws them on the ground. And so pick an area, and you're going to create a fair-sized painting of these fabrics. And you're working on it for 2 or 3 weeks, and you're quite happy with how things are coming along. And then week 4, she brings in a model and said, by the way, you're putting a model on top of this.
Nice.
And it's, but I've spent all this time working on these lovely stripes and what have you. But now you've got the model, and then that's kind of what this is, the genesis of my exploring this. You got this figure on top, but there's a stripe or these polka dots, but that's kind of neat in their face. So let's leave that and just kind of see where it goes. And so again, the studio painter, I just love just playing and playing and playing and turning it sideways and dripping and what have you. It's just so much fun. And there's nothing. The lovely plein air painters will go out on the Monday, and I'm left alone in the Swinton studio. And I'm just having so much fun because I could just spread everything out and make big marks and splashes.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, that's a great space to do all that.
All right. Well, everybody right there, that's JW's in the show. Come see the show. Each and every one of you got to come and see this. I'm telling you, check out this painting behind me. You're gonna love this, man. You're gonna love this.